What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another ASC YouTube video. And today is my final 2021 NFL mock draft for the draft season. I mean, the draft is just tomorrow. It's not actually tomorrow. I'm recording this on Sunday night. Next time you see me, I'll probably be reviewing the draft for you guys. And this mock draft is going to be specifically me predicting what is going to happen. I did the same thing last year. I was very wrong last year. And I mean, if you get like a couple picks right, you did really well because the draft is so insane. Yes, this is going to be a fully predictive mock draft. This is not what I would do. I'm just going to indicate that right out the gate. Before I get started, please be sure to like the video and subscribe here to All Sports Culture on YouTube. It would be greatly appreciated. As well as tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern Time, me and Sully are going to be going live right here on YouTube to react to the first round of the NFL draft. So be there. You can watch along with us. It's going to be a really fun time. Let's just go right into it. First overall pick, Jacksonville Jaguars. They're taking Trevor Lawrence. This is basically confirmed. I mean, Urban Meyer is giving him the playbook. Trevor Lawrence has donated $20K to Jacksonville. It's set in stone, and it has been since January. 102 is the Jets with Zach Wilson, the quarterback from BYU. I do think they ultimately do go Wilson and fall in love with his special rare abilities. I don't think it's 100% chance that the Jets pick Zach Wilson. I don't think that's fully set in yet, but I think it's going to happen. At number 3, the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I would have always picked Justin Fields for this. I always thought the Mac Jones shit was a bluff, but now we're getting a report that the 49ers have narrowed it down to Trey Lance, Mac Jones. No Justin Fields in sight. I'm just saying this. The San Francisco 49ers are such a tight-lipped organization. Nothing ever gets out about what they are planning. So many things that they have done over the years just happen just surprisingly with no lead up to it. So I'm not going to fully buy this, but I'm still going to make a pick between the two of those quarterbacks just on the precipice that this could be true. I still very much think Justin Fields is in play. I'm not throwing him out of the realm of possibility. I think it could be just a giant bluff. But at third overall, the 49ers, Trey Lance or Mac Jones. My pick here is going to be Trey Lance. Now, the reason being is this. Two things. One, if they truly plan on keeping Jimmy Garoppolo, you don't take Mac Jones to sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo. You don't do that. You don't replace Jimmy Garoppolo with a quarterback pretty much the same skill level you're hoping as Jimmy Garoppolo or Kirk Cousins. That's what you're getting with Mac Jones. You move up to number 3 to get a game changer that you think can groom into something special. That is what you do with those picks. And Trey Lance has probably the highest ceiling of any quarterback in this class. I mean, he's got such rare talent and physical tools. And listening to Kyle Shanahan talk about the quarterback position the past year, it's very evident he wants a guy that can do it all and is not limited by his abilities. And Trey Lance, as a guy you can sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo and groom, that is what I feel like they are looking for. And I think all this Mac Jones stuff is a giant bluff. So I'm picking Trey Lance here at number 3. Now we have the Falcons at number 4. And I think the Falcons are definitely in a very big debate over what they should do at quarterback. Don't think that they're locked into taking a guy. I think they're open to the idea of it because they've been doing their due diligence, but I feel like Arthur Smith is still comfortable with Matt Ryan. It's just, if a guy is there that they really like, they will take him, but they're not going to force themselves to if they get a really damn good offer. I don't think they're going to get an offer that they feel is as valuable for number 4. The teams that are behind Atlanta, I just don't think are going to come up for a quarterback. I don't think the Broncos are coming up to 4. I don't think the Patriots will come up to 4 from 15. I don't think the Bears or the football team are going to come up to 4. I just don't think any team close to 4 is going to trade up with the Falcons. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I think the Falcons are sitting there and they're like, well, what can we do to maximize this pick value? And Justin Fields, I mean, he's comparable to Ryan Tannehill in ways. I mean, play action passing would be Justin Fields' strong suit in the NFL, and that is what Arthur Smith's scheme thrives on. I really think Justin Fields would be the preferred quarterback for Atlanta, and he's there, and they're not getting a valuable trade offer to move down with. I think they're going to take him. At number 5, the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think they're going to go Penei Sewell. I just don't think they will. I think they're going to give in to Joe Burrow and take Jamar Chase. Now, it's not just simply they're going to give Joe Burrow his college teammate. Obviously, that's a big plus. But also the fact that they just lost AJ Green, who had a ton of targets last year. They have to fill in that void of targets. Now, yes, you could be like, oh, Auden Tate will move up the depth chart and take those targets. Do you really want to bank on that for Joe Burrow? Really? Or you want to replace it with Jamar Chase, who's arguably the best receiver prospect in forever? I think they're going to go Jamar Chase. I really do. And then the Dolphins are here at number 6. Same thing with the Falcons. I don't think a team's going to trade up to number 6. I think the Panthers are going to stick with Sam Darnold. I think the Broncos are not actively looking for quarterback. I think they are still somewhat going to give Drew Lock a chance. So I think they would have to have the quarterback come to them in order to make that selection. So the Dolphins are going to stay here at 6, and they're just going to pick best player available, and that's Kyle Pitts. Tua thrived in 12 personnel in college. So Kyle Pitts, Mike Gesicki, put him on the field at once. You're cooking with gas right there. I mean, that's just filth. That is just absolute filth. And I think that's what the Dolphins should be doing because their roster is really good. I thought about Waddle or Smith here, but I think they would go best player available. And Kyle Pitts can double as a wide receiver or tight end for you. So this selection is pretty easy. Now we're at number 7 with the Detroit Lions. And the Lions are a team that I just think are poised to trade down. And, Mac Jones isn't going to be... Like, if Justin Fields was here, I would pick Justin Fields, but I don't know if they would. I actually think they truly believe in Jared Goff. I mean, they turned down an offer from the Panthers for 8th overall and a future first-round pick. They turned that down for 2 late first-round picks with Jared Goff. That should tell you a lot about how they feel about Goff. I think they truly believe in him. So the Lions are going to be trading down here. And it's not going to be a team coming up for Mac Jones. It's actually going to be with the LA Chargers, who are coming up to prioritize protecting Justin Herbert with his college teammate in Penei Sewell, the tackle from Oregon. In the process, they're giving up the 13th overall pick, their second rounder, and a future 4th for the 7th overall pick. The Chargers have to protect Justin Herbert at all costs. They still don't have a left tackle. And Penei Sewell, with that familiarity of Herbert, I think it's just a smart decision by the Chargers to do it because the Chargers roster is ready to roll for a playoff push. So getting this bookend tackle just to iron that out would be a really smart idea. And then the Panthers, who are just really angry about that selection because they wanted Sewell, they're just going to go best defensive player available, and that's going to be Patrick Surtain II, the corner from Alabama. They really need to iron out this cornerback room. It's not very good. It's very ugly. Slater could be a selection here that I could see. I just think that Pat Surtain is going to be viewed very highly in the league, and I wouldn't even be shocked if the Falcons took him at 4. I'm not kidding. I think he's just going to be valued very highly, and I think the Panthers are going to be a team that's going to really like him. So that's going to be the pick at 8. Now we have the Broncos at 9, and I'm going to be real here. Don't think they're going to love the value here. I think they were hoping for Sewell, and they were hoping for Surtain, one of those two to be there at 9, and neither were. I mean, they're loaded at weapons. They're pretty good on the offensive line. I could see Rashawn Slater here, but they could upgrade, but they don't have to. So they're just going to capitalize on a team trying to move up for another player. So the Broncos are going to trade down from 9 with the Arizona Cardinals, and the Cardinals are going to be moving up in order to help Kyler Murray. You would think this is for a corner, but no, I'm actually doing it to help Kyler Murray. And that's going to be Jaylen Waddle, the wide receiver from Alabama. Kyler Murray is at his best throwing deep to the sideline. That is where he's at his best. Jaylen Waddle is exactly the type of receiver that this offense needs. They're just giving up the 16th overall pick, their 5th rounder, and a 2022 second, and they're getting back the 9th pick and the Broncos 4th rounder this year. Jaylen Waddle would be so dynamic in this Cardinals offense with Kyler Murray. I mean, that's just unfair. So that's going to be the selection here. I've actually had this happen before in a mock draft, and I think it's a very strong possibility. I think they are going to prioritize Kyler Murray succeeding over getting a cornerback. I think that's what they're going to do, and I think Jaylen Waddle is a guy they're going to want. Then at 10, the Cowboys. This has been pegged to them a lot. It's J.C. Horn, the corner from South Carolina. Horn is corner 1 for a lot of people, and it's sounding like the league is extremely high on Horn. So he's going to be the pick here at 10. At number 11, the Giants. I'm going Rashawn Slater, the tackle from Northwestern. They're just going to try and help Daniel Jones. Pretty simple. Just give him an offensive lineman. He could play tackle over Nate Solder right away if they wanted. Kick him inside. And at 12, the Eagles, they're taking Devontae Smith, the receiver from Alabama. They're just going to pick best player available in this instance. And I believe that Devontae Smith will be the 3rd receiver. I think he will be the 3rd receiver taken off the board because I feel like some teams are not going to have him on their boards, which is crazy enough to say because of his size. But the Eagles are just going to take who they believe is the best here. And then at 13, the Lions from the Chargers. I'm going to give them a kneecap biter that I think they're going to love, and that's going to be Micah Parsons, the linebacker from Penn State. Some people think he's going to go top 10. I don't think that's happening. I think he's going to slide into the teens. But he fits that MO of what Detroit is trying to build there with Dan Campbell. So, and they need help at that linebacker spot desperately. And at 14, the Vikings. I wanted to trade down here. I did, but I just couldn't find a trade partner. I don't think Washington is going to trade up for a Mac Jones. I think they would only trade up for one of those game changers like Trey Lance, Justin Fields, or Zach Wilson. I don't think they would put effort into Mac Jones. They are not that desperate. I thought about the Bears, but the Bears would be trading with the Vikings, and that's just not going to happen. So the Vikings ended up staying put here at 14. And I'm taking Christian Darrisaw, the tackle from Virginia Tech. I'm not as high on him as everyone else is, but he is a perfect fit for this zone blocking scheme. And Brian O'Neill and Darrisaw would be a fantastic tackle duo for the future. And a lot of people are pegging edge here. The Vikings just don't take edges in the first round. I would love them to take Jalen Phillips, but I just don't think that's going to happen. Christian Darrisaw would be really nice for the Vikings. And at 15, we got the Patriots. And they're not actually going to be picking here. They're going to be trading down with the Bears because the Bears are desperate. They are desperate for a quarterback so bad. And the Patriots, they are the kings of trading down. They do it all the time. I could see it happening again. And I also believe that they are in a spot where they feel comfortable with Cam Newton and that they will let the quarterbacks come to them for the most part. Or if a guy like a Field starts to fall, that they would move up for him because they're in a more advantageous spot. But the Bears are way more desperate, and they're going to be moving up, obviously, for Mac Jones, the quarterback from Alabama. I think Mac Jones is for sure going to go first round. Whether that's at 3, if he doesn't go 3, I have no idea where he's going to go. That's going to be one of the craziest storylines of the draft because if he doesn't go to the 49ers, like, where does he go? Denver? I don't think he's going to go to Denver. It really is going to be nuts to see where he ends up going in the draft if the 49ers ultimately don't pick him. I think it'll end up being to the Bears, honestly, because they're going to get desperate. But they will be trading pick 20 and their 3rd rounder for the Patriots, 15th pick, and the Patriots' 6th rounder. Now at 16, the Broncos are back up on the clock, and they're going to be capitalizing on Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the linebacker from Notre Dame, falling. I mean, talk about a perfect fit in this Fangio defense. Fangio would put him all over the place. He's super rangy, exactly what they love in their linebackers in that defense. easy selection for me. This is probably the easiest pick. And at 17, we got the Raiders. This is going to be surprising. I think there are two guys here that they would pick. Tevin Jenkins, who literally fits everything the Raiders want in an offensive lineman, but they're seemingly confident in their backups. It's very weird how they sound confident in these guys. Who I think they're going to pick is Christian Barmore, the defensive lineman from Alabama. Reason being is he fits everything that they love in their overdrafted first-round picks. They're from a big program. Barmore, they literally just devolved their entire defensive line group. When the Raiders see a need on their team, they do not care. They will take their top player available on their board for that position, regardless if it's an overdraft or not. I think Barmore is very likely to go to the Raiders at 17. If I had to bet money on a selection outside of like the top two, Barmore to the Raiders is one that I just feel very confident about for some reason. It just seems like someone they would love and covet for this draft. At 18, we got the Dolphins. I literally have no idea how to draft for the Dolphins because they should just be picking best player available and their team is already really good. I went with Kwity Paye to play 4-3 end. He's a bigger body end and they just traded Shaq Lawson to the Houston Texans. So he would essentially just replace him. And I like that fit. At 19, we got Washington. It sucks that Owusu Koramoah came off the board because I would have easily selected him there for the football team. But I went tackle with Tevin Jenkins. Really tough. Seems like someone that Ron Rivera would really like. And yeah, I really got nothing else to say. I just think they're going to go tackle at 19. Tackle or linebacker. I don't know why. I just got a strong feeling about that. And then at 20, we got the Patriots from the Chicago Bears. And this one's going to be weird. I went with Zaven Collins, the linebacker from Tulsa. I think they're going to love his skill set, where he is a linebacker that Belichick could play all over the place. He's really good in coverage. He could play that hybrid outside linebacker role, where you can blitz him off the edge, you can drop him into coverage, you can fill gaps. I just feel like the Patriots are going to really like him. And if they trade down, I wouldn't be surprised if he was a target of theirs. He just screams Belichickian style linebacker, and I even considered him for the Dolphins at 18. I would not be shocked if they went that way. And then at 21, we have the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are in a weird spot. They just traded picks for Carson Wentz, so they're a little bit low on draft picks now. So they're going to try and recoup some assets here because, you know, Chris Ballard loves to trade back and get as many picks as he can. So a team that's in the back end of the first round that has been super aggressive trading up in all three of their drafts that their new general manager has been at the helm for is the Green Bay Packers. And as a Packers fan, I can speak for this. Every single first round draft, they have traded up. They traded up for Jair Alexander, they traded up for Darnell Savage, and then they traded up for Jordan Love last year. I think they're going to do the same because the Packers have a surplus of picks. They've got 10 picks. So they're going to put them to use here. They're going to be trading pick 29, their 4th rounder, and their 5th rounder for the Colts' 21st overall selection. And they're going to be taking Greg Newsome, the corner from Northwestern. Greg Newsome screams Packer to me. Like, he fits their MO to a T. And even though Caleb Farley would be someone they really love too, I don't think they're going to have him on their board because of his back injury. Greg Newsome is everything they want. He can play in off coverage, which they're going to be running a ton of in this new defense. He can play anything you want him to play. He's an uber athlete. He's super fluid in his hips. I mean, he's got the best hips in the class at corner. Greg Newsome is just a guy I think they're going to really like, and they will be aggressive in trading up past the Titans and Jets for him. I feel like Green Bay is just going to be aggressive. I just have a feeling because they just seem to be in the first round every year since Brian Gutekunst has taken over as general manager. At 22, the Titans, they're going to actually be picking Elijah Moore, the receiver from Ole Miss, pairing him with A.J. Brown again. And I mean, they want yards after contact receivers. Elijah Moore is that. He's been rising up boards a lot lately, and I would think that he is actually, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes before Bateman. And I actually have him going before Bateman here. I think it's going to be a similar thing to Rieger and Jefferson last year, where the Titans are going to value his speed and contact balance and the ability to use him as a motion player. I think they're going to value that a lot. So they're going to be taking Elijah Moore here at 22. Now the Jets are here at 23. Easy selection here. Elijah Vera Tucker, the interior offensive lineman from USC. Perfect scheme fit. Prioritize protecting Zach Wilson. Easy selection here. At 24, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this is probably one of the worst kept secrets in the draft. It's that the Steelers love Najee Harris. I'm picking Najee Harris. He fits what the Steelers want in their running backs. He just does. I'm not confident that he will succeed in year one behind that offensive line, because that offensive line is looking not so hot right now. But I just think the Steelers are going to really like him, and that's going to be the selection. At 25, the Jaguars. I could have went a lot of different directions here, but the Jaguars have not addressed safety really this offseason. I mean, they signed Rayshon Jenkins, but I don't think they're confident in that group. And a hybrid safety that can move all over the formation as a split field safety or whatever it may be. Trayvon Merrick from TCU just seems like a pick they're going to want in this new defense. Now I've got the Cleveland Browns at 26. Gregory Rousseau is a guy that a lot of teams have been saying they still would take first round. I think he's going to go first round. And the Browns signed a guy similar in size to him with Jadeveon Clowney. So that's going to be the selection here. And at 27, we got the Baltimore Ravens. They're going to pick the best edge player available. This is just what the Ravens do. They just let the best player fall to them, and they just take them. And that's Azeez Ojulari, the edge from Georgia. I mean, Ravens pass rusher to a T. I wouldn't be shocked if this was Joe Tryon. Nah, it's Azeez. He's absurd. It's absurd that he's here at 27, but it happened. At 28, we got the Saints. The Saints are just going to capitalize. It's Caleb Farley, the corner from VTech. They have a giant need at corner. And Caleb Farley is such a highly talented player in this class, and I think they're going to be willing to take the risk on him, because this a late first round pick on a top 10 caliber player in this draft, aside from injury, is worth it in my eyes for any team. And then at 29, we got the Colts, who have this selection from the Packers. I'm pegging in Liam Eichenberg. He just screams Indianapolis Colt to me. I'm very confident that the Colts trading down, they will very probably target Liam Eichenberg. That Notre Dame left side with Liam Eichenberg and Quentin Nelson, I mean, that'd be ridiculous. That would be ridiculous. Liam Eichenberg, pegging him to the Colts. I wouldn't even be shocked if they took him at 21. At 30, we have the Bills. This one was interesting. I have a lot of names on the board. I had Asante Samuel, I had Jason Owe, Jalen Phillips. I didn't go with any of them. Here's my thought process. What do they do a ton in their offense? Pass the ball. Let's look at their receiver room. Stephon Diggs, he's a stud and he's locked up long term. Okay. Cole Beasley, he's old and his contract runs up after 2022. And you might not have him that long because you got to pay certain guys soon, like Josh Allen, probably going to be in the 40 mil range. Emmanuel Sanders, he's just on a one-year deal and he's old. And you have Gabe Davis. Your wide receivers 2 and 3 are not long-term answers. And Rashad Bateman is just sitting right there. Just give yourself a long-term weapon for Josh Allen to thrive with. I think this is just a no-brainer selection, and it would be absolutely absurd if they did this. It's just a rich get richer pick, and I'm going to do it. At 30, the Bills take Rashad Bateman, the receiver from Minnesota. At 31, we've got the Ravens. Interior offensive line was such a big problem for the Ravens last year, and Creed Humphrey is a guy that would fit beautifully in their power run scheme. and they just seem to love Oklahoma products. So Creed Humphrey's going to be the pick here at 31 to replace Matt Skura at center. And at 32, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're going to be taking a project edge rusher, and that's going to be Jason Owe from Penn State. Just put him behind JPP and Shaq, get him to grow. But yes, that is going to be it for my final 2021 NFL mock draft. Man, this draft season was fun. This is the most in-depth I've gone in a class. And I just want to say thank you all for watching all of my draft content over the past couple of months. It's been really fun to make this stuff. Thank you just for watching everything. I really appreciate it. And I hope your team takes who you want them to take. Be sure to check in to our live draft reaction stream tomorrow right here on YouTube at 7:30 Eastern time. I'm going to be there. Sully's going to be there. We're going to be watching the whole first round, so you can come into the chat, interact with us a ton. We'll be there the entire round. So be sure to stop by if you can. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to us here on YouTube and follow us on Instagram at All Sports Culture. That's going to be it for my final draft video of this draft cycle. I'll see you guys after the draft. It's going to be fun. See you in the next one.